So today I'm feeling a lot better, as you can see. I'm feeling a lot better than I did yesterday. I'm so grateful for that. Yesterday, I don't know, I just felt a little bit off, just a little bit. But today, I'm feeling so much better. And so our discussion yesterday about don't make it harder than it has to be. Speak so much truth to my soul yesterday, because I rewatched that video and I was just like, yeah, it really spoke to me as well. Which is why I do these videos. I do these videos for myself. I used to hear people say that and be like, yeah, corny, but it's really true. It's a nice way for me to record my journey, because I do videos. I've been doing videos for a long time. I just never posted them. So I have tons of videos on my phone. My phone is full, no memory space. I keep having to buy storage space from Google. So I've been doing them for many years. I just never posted them. And I just decided, you know what? I'm just gonna do them live. Share my thoughts. They might help someone, out there as well. So that's the purpose. And yesterday I spoke about the importance of not making things harder than they have to be. Today I want to talk about what I would say the importance of staying on point, for lack of a better title, is coming back to, Moses and taking all these people to the promised land, the Jews, and when, God said to Moses that you can't go with them into this promised land because of what you did, right, with the rock. And you will see that there are two instances with the rock. The first instance was when he went and God told him, strike it. So he struck the rock with his rod and water came out. The second time, right, God told him, go and speak to the rock. So he went and he struck the rock again. And, God said he disobeyed the order, so he can't go with them to the promised land. And the thing to realize here is the importance of paradigms, the importance of paradigms, where you're just doing the same thing. In project management, we call it heuristics, right? The heuristics, where you do something because that's how you've always done them. And even in construction, which is the industry I work in, right? I work as a construction lawyer, is we are slow to change things because, the famous, that's how we've always done it. And there's this saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and stuff like that. As in, sit in that space that And in this story, we see the importance of paradigms and the importance of not allowing our paradigms to take charge of our minds. Now, I know this is hard. This is easier to say than to do. Trust me. Oh, I know. But in project management with heuristics, and we talk about, and this is the way we've always done it, so we're going to continue doing it this way. When God said to Moses the first time, going, strike that rock with your rod, and he did it and the water came out. The second time God said, just go and speak to the rock, right? But he had that muscle memory. He had muscle memory of striking the rock. Heuristics kicked in. And then he went off and he said to them, must we do everything for you? Must I do everything for you? I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially he went the second time and said, you know, must I do everything? You know, must I do everything for you? He wasn't the one doing it, you know, and then he did it incorrectly because he allowed his muscle memory, he allowed heuristics, he allowed that paradigm to step in and say, this is the way we've done it before, so do it again. But that was not the direction that he got. And in life and in business especially, we have to be mindful of that. You know, the detail is so important. The detail is so important, and getting stuck in that detail and questioning the way we do things, and just asking ourselves if that's the best way to do things. Is there another way? And also being able to take directions. You know, a lot of people say you have to be coachable, and I think to an extent that is true, because I've been with mentors and coaches before where I was just not ready to receive that information, and I was telling myself that I was doing what they told me to do. I was not doing what they told me to do. I was doing my own thing, thinking that I was doing what they told me to do, you know, but I was so locked in the way that I've always done things that I couldn't do it in a new way, right? You have to become so conscious, because the unconscious mind takes over and you just kick into action. You know, it's like you're driving, you just do it, muscle memory, and then you don't get the returns on the investment, or you don't get the rewards that you want. And so that story just shows us the importance of being a stickler for the detail, being coachable, and always questioning your paradigm and heuristics, not allowing muscle memory to take over. And you see that so many times, like if you want to go from 0 to 6 figures, it requires a certain set of like competencies, principles, mindset, all of that. If you want to move from, you know, 6 figures, like let's say the hundreds to, you know, 150, 199, if you want to go in like the multiple 6 figures, like 500,000, 700,000, that requires a different mindset. If you want to go into 7 figures, it's totally different. You know, I've heard you know, people say that you have to become a completely different person, and to an extent that is true. You have to change the way you look at things. You have to change the way you implement things. You have to change, you know, your mindset. The principles that you apply have to change. The quality and quantity, the way you do things, the detail of it has to change, because you won't get the results that you're after. And so if you want to move from one level to another, you are going to have to become conscious of the words you speak, the actions you take or you do, the people you surround yourself with, the environments you go into. You're going to have to become conscious of a lot of things, because otherwise the old habits are going to come and creep in and just eat away all the success, or eat away all the positive things that you're trying to bring into your life. And so that story is a tale of ensuring that you are cognizant, ensuring that you become aware and conscious of how you do things, the how, the when, and the why, ensuring that you become conscious of the things that you say, the actions that you take, so that you don't get ahead of yourself, you don't think you're bigger than you are, and also that you don't make mistakes that you don't need to make. So that story is just a cautionary tale that I wanted to touch on, to give my views on it, and just because I see it play out so many times in my industry. you know, and I happen to work in construction and I'm a lawyer. These are like two industries that are hell bent on doing things the way they've always been done, you know, like just double whammy, you know. Is this this view held dearly, that they're not going to change the way they've always been doing things, even though it's not working, because this is the way they've always been doing it. You know, it's not working to the full potential, because in the industry, for example, we still have cost overruns, program delays. We have a huge revolving door of talent. People don't stick around long enough on projects. Now they say we have a resource problem and not enough qualified tradesmen and women and just people to work in the industry. There are a ton of issues, but still we refuse to change the way we do recruitment. We refuse to change the way we manage projects. We refuse to change the way we put together boards. We refuse to change the way we do business, because we've always been doing, this is the way we work and we've always been doing it this way. And so our heuristics kicks in every time. And I work with a lot of project managers on various projects. And I see it so often where heuristics kick in, and I have to be there to say, no, this is not the way we're going to manage the contract, or let's think of a different way, or these numbers are too optimistic. You know, there's a bias here and we need to question that. You know, if I'm helping clients with their business cases, for example, and interrogating, you know, whether or not this is something that should be in their portfolio, I do help clients with that. And I see it so often that, you know, they go, because they've struck the rock before, they go to strike the rock again when that was not the brief that they've been given. So it's an interesting insight. What are your views on it? Did you read the story? What did you take from it? It's okay if you got something totally different. We all interpret. I believe we all get our own interpretation of the Bible for us, what the place. I believe that when you read the Bible, depending on where you are at that point in time, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you know, what you need in your life at that point, you will get that interpretation for you. And that's why I believe that the Bible is written with a lot of parables, and, you know, things aren't readily or easily understood, you know, for many of us. You know, you have to read, you have to take the time, and you have to ask for that discerning eye, you know, the awareness. God opened my eyes so I can see, because throughout the Bible, people always, God opened their eyes. I've never seen it say the person opened their own eyes. I've always seen it say God opened their eyes. So we pray that God open our eyes and show us the principles that are right for us at this stage in our journey. That's what I believe. So it's okay if you read it and you got something else from it, because it means that's what you need right now, to fortify your spirit, your body, your mind, to move you forward on your journey. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. I will see you in my next video. Bye.